Go somewhere else. I can't take this nonsense anymore. How are you going to blame the defense?
I got the pound. Screw green bean. Damn it.
But once you get to the sausage, I feel like we're doing something.
Go Jets.
And that's the other part of this, is people are insanely jealous of this show. This show gets the best of the best, and it does a different way, with positivity.
He scores!
Ow, my head. No, come on.
What would you give up to see a Jets Super Bowl?
All of my friends and family.
Hit those milk thumbs, boys and girls.
Freeze frame.
Hold on to your underwear, ladies, and stand by, bitches. It's now time for Talkin' Jets with your hosts, Matt, Ryan, and Green Bean.
Welcome to Talkin' Jets. My name's Ryan. I'll be your pilot today. I am brought to you alongside my co-pilot for tonight. I have Mr. Matt O'Leary. Green Bean, not going to be with us tonight, so we're doing a little duo action, Matt.
Yeah, I think Green Bean found out through the grapevine that I was going to say how upset I was that John Franklin Myers wasn't out there, and how it showed how important John Franklin Myers is to the Jets by yesterday's performance. And he said, I can't possibly go on and defend my stance. So that's why he's not here.
I would think so. You know, I have to lose my authority of freezing him. I'm not going to be able to do that tonight, which is quite disappointing because we got run on a lot. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk all about last night's game, Jets losing to the 49ers. First night of our season. Boys and girls, as you come in, make sure you hit that like button. Help support the show. If you want to get entered into our t-shirt, jersey, hat, mug, pillow giveaway at the end of the show, all you got to do is drop a like on this video. Every 25 likes, we're going to pick a qualifier for that giveaway. And then if you're watching after the fact, all you got to do is drop a pinned time-stamped comment down below of your favorite moments, and you'll be entered as well. So lots of stuff to get into. We'll talk, we'll get the chat's input and everything, but let's just start right off the top. New York Jets lose to the San Francisco 49ers, 19-32. Matt, what was your takeaway? Do we want to do it by topic, or do we want to just like big lump sum of like word vomit?
You know, I think the first thing that everyone's going to go to is the run defense. And that to me stood out as their major negative. That was a surprise, especially after we found out that Christian McCaffrey wasn't going to play in this game. I think the reaction was, oh my God, the Jets are going to be getting a break here. And then they got ran on for days. It was horrible. They weren't able to stop the run, whether it was the defensive line not getting the necessary penetration, or not sealing the edge, or the guys in the secondary missing tackles. To me, that was the biggest surprise, and I think the first thing that stands out as a negative in this one. And not crazy surprised that they lost, just that it wasn't more competitive for me.
Yeah, I got the feeling like for most of the game, I would say probably until they scored the touchdown after half, I would say I felt like we had a shot. Like we were just always kind of hanging around. And I didn't get the feeling that we were just totally outmatched. Like obviously in the run game, it did feel like that. No Christian McCaffrey, you got to figure out a way to stop that rushing attack, especially when like Trent Williams didn't have an entire camp. You got the rest of the offensive line that I was told we should be able to do some damage on. This is a good defensive line, and we couldn't figure it the hell out. So really, really frustrating there. Look, I don't know. I think with Rodgers healthy, it gives me hope that we could be in any game as long as it's like reasonable. I think once we got down by 3 scores late in the fourth quarter, then pulling Rodgers just made all the sense in the world. Don't risk his health in a game that's already lost. But did you have a similar feeling? Like, did it feel like we were still kind of in it, or like maybe I'm asking from like the eyeball test. Like it felt like the stuff that was wrong with the game yesterday, at least from like Brees fumbling the ball and Lazard dropping the first third down and the tipped interception. Like it all felt like stuff that could be cleaned up and isn't going to be necessarily lingering issues. I mean, maybe aside from the run defense.
Yeah, it felt like they beat themselves. And well, what I'm going to say is that they beat themselves in some areas. I don't want that to sound like I'm discrediting the 49ers, because they're a really damn good football team. I think they're the best team in the NFC. I think they showed that last night. But the point that I was trying to make and that I will make here now is that in order to beat a team like San Francisco, you have to win the turnover battle. You can't, have a fumble from Breece Hall, a tipped interception, a drop on third down. Like you need everything to break right for you. And that wasn't happening on top of them not being able to get off the field on third down defensively. So to me, it's a mix of both, but I hear what you're saying. Some of the things, yes, it does seem correctable, but to me, still frustrating nonetheless, because like major opponent, they want to prove that they're, capable of winning a Super Bowl, and then didn't really look all that competitive against elite competition. Like a little bit of a red flag, not saying like I'm hitting the panic button or I'm bailing. But I think we could still be frustrated with the effort that we saw.
Yeah, I think it's totally fair to be critical. I saw people upset with Salah, some of the coaching decisions. Like, I don't understand why we didn't see Mike Williams at all, unless he just doesn't have a grasp on the playbook and they're, just saying, hey, Lazard was in this offense for years. He just knows it. It's better to trot him out right now, which, hey, to his credit, had like 80 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, actually had himself a pretty decent game after that drop pass. But no Conklin getting involved. No Braylon Allen in the short yardage situations, just sort of, I don't want to play Monday morning quarterback, because obviously you want to have, Breece with the ball in his hands and you expect him to be able to get that yard. But like, it also felt at the same time like Braylon was like really tough at getting that short yardage. And it's like, it seemed like a misuse of assets.
No, it did. You can't have Braylon Allen didn't get a run until that final drive when they took, Aaron Rodgers out and put Tyrod Taylor in. Like the Jets, and Salah does it, but just this whole regime, pretty much outside of Sauce Gardner, they take their time with these rookies. They bring everyone on so slow, and I get that, and I was kind of expecting it with some guys on this roster, like Malachi Corley played 1 snap in this game. That wasn't crazy surprising just based off past history. But if you're going to roster Braylon Allen as your second running back, which I don't have any gripe with them doing, I think he's more than capable at it. He has to touch the ball, or at least the field, before the final drive. Like it was all Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson. No one really touched the ball until the late in the third quarter, for other than those two guys. And I get it. Like I want those two to be the focal point of the offense, but it just felt way too predictable early on in the game. And I agree with you. The personnel decisions were a little confusing to me.
See Joey Jets in the chat, chimes in with his member super chat. Thank you so much, Joey. He says, last night was frustrating to watch overall. Let's remember they're the top dog in the NFC, 16 games left. Let's effing go Jets. Yeah, I guess the solace you could kind of take in this is, hey, we may have faced like our hardest opponent throughout the season. Like obviously teams change year over year, but that seemed like a pretty damn hard opponent, even without Christian McCaffrey on the field. We're in a hostile environment on the road. There are 16 games left, and it's also an NFC loss. So as far as like losses could be considered, probably one of like the ones that you could kind of tolerate. Not to mention Rodgers, the last few years has started off a little bit slower at the beginning part of the season. So, yeah, maybe that is part of getting up and going. Not to mention Rodgers did look rusty. He looked like he hadn't played football in 2 years, and that's basically because he kind of hasn't. I mean, he had the broken thumb, which I'm sure threw him off his last year in Green Bay, and it felt clunky overall. But I agree with Joey here. It's only one game. We can right this ship. I don't think it's any reason to be concerned just yet.
No, and like I'm having a hard time in a way. I'm trying to find the balance because I don't want to just like completely rip them and be and make it come across where I'm like, all right, you're hitting the panic button. This team's not as good as we thought they were and stuff like that. But at the same time, I don't want to also give them a free pass and say, well, it's the 49ers. Like they're a really good team, which is true. Like, yes, they are a really good team, but also my expectations were higher. So I think it's a mix of being disappointed, but also looking and seeing some positive bright spots. Like you mentioned, sure, Rodgers was maybe even at times a little bit rusty, but I thought he made a lot of really good plays in this game. The free play that turned into a touchdown for Allen Lazard, we never see that from a Jets quarterback. We never see that kind of play and just, the ad lib there. And he only threw the ball 21 times. His yards per attempt was over 8. His completion percentage was above 60%. I thought there were things to like in this game. And if this is a down Aaron Rodgers game, I think we all sign up for that.
Oh, 100%. I think I have. Did I have it pulled up? Let me see if I do. Yeah, so I got, not that it necessarily matters a crazy ton, but I got our Pro Football Focus numbers up here. No shock, Aaron Rodgers is the top dog from an offensive perspective. Lazard coming in second, Garrett coming in third. I would say that probably felt like how this game went. Nice to see AVT kind of bounce back. Let's see what the pass blocking was. I felt like the pass blocking was pretty solid last night. All things considered.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say is another positive if you want to look at it. Aaron Rodgers was operating from a clean pocket most of the night. I think he was sacked once and was hit once. Other than that, I think he had time. If you want to be critical of the run blocking, that's totally fair. I thought they got bullied in the run game on both sides of the trenches, offensive line and especially the defensive line. I'm sure we'll talk about that a ton tonight. But from a pass pro perspective, not a lot of complaints from me, honestly.
𝐒𝐿𝐫𝐞𝐞𝐳 comes in. Thank you so much for your member super chat. Let me just get that to the top there. He says, the defense either has to learn to turn the ball over or get off the damn field on third down. That was not my defense last night. JETS, Jets. So I think part of that, I think it's a dual question. Like, obviously we have to be able to stop the run and get off the field on third down. I think that's well said. But I think us not scoring points and being in a backpedaling kind of situation where we allowed the 49ers to dictate what they wanted to do. They had motion all over the place, running with Debo, Ayuk off the side, having, they ran it down our throat. What, they have 140 yards, 120 yards? It was something crazy overall. But either way, I think the turning the ball over is a lot tougher when you're losing, because now you're hoping on the fact that you can get a fumble, not a tipped pass for interception, not a guy stepping in front of a receiver, not a stressed ball from the quarterback. You're not getting the pass rush to him. So what are your thoughts on this defense and how can they improve moving forward?
Yeah, they got to learn how to tackle. That was a big issue.
Most missed tackles, I think, right?
Yeah, just an insane number. As a team, San Francisco, 38 carries, 180 yards. Jordan Mason, 28 carries, 147 yards, and a touchdown. His long was 24. But again, I was really, really disappointed with the effort in the run game. I thought the tackling was an issue. And the push up front, honestly, like I wasn't crazy. I always thought the Jets were going to take a little bit of a step back in the run game, but I mean, the 49ers basically said we were going to run directly at Michael Clemens and they were going to ask them to stop him. And all night long, they were not able to. I thought he didn't, unfortunately, pass that first test as the reliable John Franklin Myers replacement.
I love how you bring up John Franklin Myers because I'm sure Green Bean is stewing listening to this back. I'm sure he wants to chime in. Peter comes in with the super chat. Thank you so much. He says, I can't understand why the Jets are reluctant to use their talented rookies. Many teams get good production from them from the jump. So I kind of understand not using Malachi Corley. It didn't feel like they utilized him a lot in the preseason, but I thought for sure Braylon Allen would get the ball much earlier in this game. I was a little surprised to see Leonard Taylor III not active for this game because we didn't have 𝐒𝐿𝐫𝐞𝐞𝐽. I would have assumed we just, I mean, I guess maybe they trusted Kinlaw and Solomon Thomas, but it felt like we were missing that presence in the middle part of our defense. What were your thoughts on the usage of the rookies?
Yeah, I didn't think they utilized them enough, honestly. For me, I already talked about Braylon Allen not touching the field until the final drive. I didn't like that. Malachi Corley, not really surprised. I would like to see them maybe try to get a few more plays for him. I'm not saying like he's got to touch the ball 5 times. I'm saying like, I don't know, maybe like 2 design touches a game, somewhere in that to get it. I think he's a good enough weapon to do that. And again, just to diversify it a little bit, they had personnel where they had 4 wide with Garrett Wilson, which is fine, but then the other 3 were Lazard, Conklin, and Rucker. It's like you can get a little bit more speed out there on the field, or like just try to change up the look a little bit. So I didn't love the personnel usage in this one, and it just seems like they are very reluctant to give any kind of role to a rookie early on.
JETS for life comes in with a super chat. Thank you so much. He says, why so many 49ers so open all over the field? Is it motion? It's definitely partially motion. A lot of it has to do with Shanahan just being probably the best offensive mind in football for the last few years. Also, they're loaded with talent on top of it. And man, it pisses me off when I see zone and we just have guys wide open in the middle of the field. Like for me, I feel like when you play man, it's very hard to be that wide open. Like you might get bad matchups occasionally, but you're never going to leave a guy wide the hell open. So I don't know. I mean, I guess you don't want to change a broken formula. Clearly, zone defense has worked for this defense the last few years. But yeah, I would agree. Too many open wide receivers is going to be a problem. Matt, your thoughts?
Yeah, that was a surprise too, and a big reason too why I think it felt like people were open, which maybe might spark another conversation that's going to get people fired up. The Jets didn't get any pass rush on the few pass plays that they did have. There was 31 dropbacks from Brock Purdy, and they got pressure on 3 of the 31 dropbacks, which is not ideal. Now, San Francisco does a really good job of 2 things. They scheme guys open, and they also get the ball out of Brock Purdy's hands pretty quickly. So I understand that it's hard to get pressure on them. At the same time, that's supposed to be the calling card of this defense. The offensive line outside of Trent Williams is poor. So I don't really want to hear that as an excuse. Just defensive line in both phases. The run game and from a pass rush perspective, to me, was just so underwhelming, and I think that played a role in the passing attack as well.
You know, I got excited when I saw Quinnen line up over the right tackle early on in this game, and I was like, all right, we're gonna do some damage with Quinnen. You know, we're gonna figure out a way to manufacture some pressure, and we just never got it. And I would love to know what the snap to throw timing was for Purdy, because it felt like he was back there all day. Like there's a certain quarterback that we had the last few years that I feel like could have done damage to this defense with how much time he had to throw back there. So I guess that inevitably leads to the question, no pass rush. Where do you stand on Hassan Reddick getting signed, or what should Joe Douglas do?
I think they need to figure out a way to get this done. That's been my stance on this for a few weeks. It's honestly just frustrating. I think Hassan Reddick's camp has handled this in a really poor way. He's lost so much money, and I think he's gotten some really terrible advice. At the same time, that also doesn't take away how silly it is from the Jets' perspective that they let Bryce Huff and JFM go and then tried to replace that production with bringing in Hassan Reddick, but then didn't follow through enough to get the guy in here. So I think you make the case that both sides need to get, probably budge a little bit. Maybe the Jets should consider talking to the guy if he's not in the building. But I think clearly we saw that it was an issue in this one, and I'd be doing everything I can to try to get him in here and figure out a mutually beneficial contract for both sides.
I have a hot take, and maybe it's not super hot, but I don't think Hassan Reddick plays for us this year. I think it's going to be one of those situations where he's dug in so deep that he's already been fined over $5 million. I think it's close to $6 million now with the fine of the missed game. And now maybe he reports to not go in the net negative, because I think once he misses like 12 games, I think he's technically paying the league in terms of fines and what he was able to have on his salary. He wasn't going to play for 1 year, $15 million. So right now we're talking like less than 1 year, $10 million for this guy to come in and play. I'll be honest, I don't know how much he would have helped. I felt like the running game was just so like on top of us that I don't think it would have been a major issue. Now obviously hearing the stat of how many pass rush snaps we had, the opportunity of how few times we got to Purdy or applied any kind of pressure on Purdy. I'd love to see like where it overly came from, if it was up the gut, if it was around the edge, whatever. But my take on Hassan Reddick, I hope he plays this year. I really want him to play. I would not try to push that envelope until after the Patriot game, though, because I think you get him in this week, he's probably not playing against the Titans, and then you're on a short week against the Patriots. So for me, I'd use that almost mini bye from the Patriots game. And if you're down, like let's say you're 1-2 after the Patriot game, now it's time to panic. Like let's figure out a way to get in here, get them on the field. But I think there's a good shot you're 2-1, and at that point, I think Hassan Reddick's looking a little, bad in the face. And how long does this really stretch out? So I would wait till after the Patriot game at this point. I kind of want to send a message. Like if I'm Joe Douglas and he's already like hurt our team to this degree, it gives you the opportunity to see Will McDonald. And then Reddick's already just kind of hurting himself. Plus, you're kind of setting yourself up for future contract negotiations, which I think is at the very least important. Like paying Michael Carter, I think was very important to showing how Joe Douglas operates with contracts with our own players. I don't know. It's gonna be really frustrating to see this play out, and I just hope it gets done soon.
I don't know. I think that'd be kind of cutting off your nose to spite your face, kind of a thing, because I get what you're trying to send a message, but I mean, I don't think it's great to keep running out Will McDonald and Michael Clemens and trying to expect to get the same kind of production that Hassan Reddick would give you.
So let me ask you this: So the Jets are going to have to at least make his contract whole, I believe. So you're talking about the Jets eating an additional $5 million or more in cap space right now. So would you pay Hassan Reddick $5 to $10 million more off our salary cap to get him in here, or would you rather that money go towards Devontae Adams at the trade deadline?
Well, how much cap space? Don't they have close to 18 million in cap space currently after their restructure?
Not when Reddick signs. When Reddick signs, because his contract's not currently on our cap. That 15 million will hit us immediately.
Okay, so then it would go to $3 or $4 million. Well,
yeah.
it
I mean, unless it's an extension, right? Like if it's an extension, then they could make a base salary of like $1 million. You make it a $25 million signing bonus over 3 years, and then his cap hit does drop. So like you can finagle bagel stuff. It just depends how much he wants.
No, exactly. I think that would be the plan, is you redo the deal. I don't think he's coming in here at the same cost, or you're adding more on there. I think you structure in a way where his cap hit is closer to that, we'll say $12 to $15 million, let's say. Mm-hmm. But the actual money that he's getting in is just a little bit more. But I would love Devontae Adams on this team also, but if they can't get after the quarterback, they're going to have a lot of problems.
Fair enough. Alex comes in and says, everyone is going to feel a lot better in 9 days when we are 2-1. Alex, from your lips to God's ears. We need it, dude. Hype comes in. Thank you so much for the super chat. Says, Kyle records every meeting from coordinators. He knew how the defense was going to come at him and all the holes. We got no push. We need some weight in the trenches. No push on either side of the line. We're good. I'm shocked we didn't get a push on the offensive side of the ball. Like I would have figured AVT, Tippmann, and John Simpson would have been a formidable interior of our offensive line to at least get some type of push, but it felt like we couldn't get anything. What did Brees have? Like 3.4 yards a carry or something? It was like really bad.
He did finish with just exactly that, 3.4, 16 carries, 54 yards. He did get in the end zone, but he had a really hard time getting anything going, which again kind of goes back to, just to change things up a little bit, why not mix in your RB2 a little bit? I'm not saying like Brees Hall doesn't deserve to be a bell cow. He does, but the team in total ran 19 times and Brees was 16 of them. That's a huge discrepancy there. So I think I would try to change it up a little bit.
Yeah, I would say. Figure it out, Hackett. We got Gangrene in the building. What's up, Gangrene? I felt Rodgers was pretty sharp for missing all last season. O-line looked good in protection. Run game will come, but where was our pass rush? Oh my God. So our pass rush sitting on the couch at home. That's where it was. Also, we were just down. So I don't think we needed to pass. Oh, well, I would have loved to pass rush more, but I think because of the balance that was allowed to happen on the 49ers side of the offense dictated if we could pin our ears back or not. Like I think they were able to get away with passes where we didn't necessarily pass rush because we didn't know what was coming, because we weren't in favorable downs and distances. We weren't in a leading type of situation.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, that's definitely a part of it also. There was just a few examples on third down in particular where they like that they were gonna have to throw, and even still they weren't able to get pressure. It's a little frustrating when that's something that you're so used to over the years. Like the last 2 years with the Jets, that was what they were so good at. They would just rush four, and it didn't seem to matter which combination of four they'd put out there. They'd find a way to get pressure on the quarterback. But Purdy could sit back in his lawn chair, take a couple swigs of beer, look at his watch, and throw the ball, and he had all day. Now it doesn't excuse the run defense, and yes, the run defense was also a really big problem. But to me, it was both.
Hype comes in, says Reddick wasn't what we're missing. It was leaky Fotu. I would agree on yesterday's game. Certainly didn't get the pass rush we needed, and it would have been much more helpful. But I think having Fotu at least would have subsided some of that. Now, them not having Christian McCaffrey probably also helped on their end. If we have Fotu and they have CMC, probably a net loss for the Jets.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, we might be overrating Leaky Fotu. Leaky Fotu is better against the run than Hassan Reddick, but I don't know how much of he's big, but I wouldn't say like he's the best run stopping interior guy in the league. Like, I don't know if he's making as big of an impact on a down to down basis as what Hassan Reddick would, even though the problem more so was the run game. I get what Hype is trying to say, but I'm not all the way in on that.
Our top guys in terms of run defense grade yesterday: C.J. Mosley, Jalen Holmes, Quincy Williams, Chuck Clark, DJ Reed, Michael Carter II, Brandon Echols. So outside of Jalen Holmes, we have not hit a defensive lineman yet. Isaiah Oliver, Chaz Surratt, Tony Adams. Then you get Quinnen Williams in 11th as far as run defense goes. Absolutely bonkers. Absolutely nuts. Super frustrating to see. We've got John coming in with Super Chat. John says, sign Green Bean at edge rusher, issue resolved. I think Green Bean would tear someone's head off if he put on that old football helmet.
Yeah, that's the exact kind of guy that we need out there. We need Green Bean to be, this team's Mike DeVito.
Not this team's JFM?
Well, I mean, that would be an even bigger upgrade, but
it'd be great. And then we could get Green Bean all twisted out of shape on it. Willie Vision comes in. Willie says, done with Clemens. Leonard Taylor needs to be active at Tennessee. Run blocking will be okay with time to mesh pass protection. Hold on. Oh, run blocking will be okay with time to mesh pass protection was thumbs up. Tack McKinley needs to be active if Reddick is out. We got to see Tack yesterday, didn't we?
He was. He played, I think it was 34%. Give me a second. I'll find his snap count. 32%, 23 snaps. He was quiet, though. He didn't have that same impact that we saw from him in the preseason.
Let's see. Sorry. Sending this real quick. All right. Yeah, no. Super frustrating. Didn't get enough... got some snaps, but what do you know? Do you have the numbers of what our average snap percentage was like across the board? Did it kind of fall in line? Like
you want everyone on the defensive line?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll start. It listed defensive tackles first, then defensive ends. So defensive tackles, Quinnen Williams played 67%. Kinlaw was 57%. Solomon Thomas was 53%, and Jalen Holmes was 22%. For defensive end or edge, Jermaine Johnson led the way at 69%. Will McDonald with that 49%. Clemens 43%. Tack 32%. Braden McGregor 11%.
Yeah, I think I'd like to see Tack's numbers elevated, and I'd like to see a little less Clemens probably.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Willie Vision comes in and says, done with Clemens. Oh, nope, sorry, I already did that one. Hype comes in and says, they were running it up the middle, need a big body. I mean, they were running it everywhere. Left, right, and center. There really wasn't.
They stretched on pitches. They were doing wide zone. They were doing inside zone. It was everywhere. And yeah, like Leaky Fotu is a big guy and would help at least take some double teams on the interior, but I don't know. He's very okay.
I'm getting some information in my ear right now. Hello. Yes. All right. It seems like we have a special guest. We've got Joe Douglas joining us via the Jets facility.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Guys, good to see you. Matt, Ryan, not the Falcons quarterback. Jets talk 24/7, Matt and Ryan. It's good to be with you. I'm sure all of us here and everyone watching at home did not have the best night's sleep. And that's understandable given last night's performance. But the time to mourn is over, and we have to turn our focus towards Tennessee.
So, Mr. Joe Douglas, I'm really happy that you're with us tonight. Again, I want to ask you, first and foremost, didn't see much of a pass rush yesterday. What are your thoughts on Hassan Reddick? You going to get a deal done?
Ryan, we spoke about this in the past, and, we all want him in the building. We traded for him. We knew what kind of a special talent he is, and I'm open to working with him. I was under the impression when we made the trade that we had an understanding, and I guess turn of events that maybe a miscommunication, but either way, my responsibility is to this team, this fan base, Woody Johnson, that there's no excuses, and I will do the best I can and be diligent in getting something done and get him in here because we want him here.
So we've got a question coming in. Matt, I don't know if you have one queued up, but I got one from Mr. Egghead from our group chat.
Jets Chaos?
Jets Chaos coming in with a question. Who is in charge of ordering food for the players at practice?
Well, I think that's NYJ Matt.
That's a good answer. Good answer. Breakfast sandwiches for days. Makes
He
sense.
sent the first one, and it's just been a cavalcade of sandwiches from that diner. I mean, I don't even know all the different types of sandwiches, but they're all very good.
Are you a pork roll guy or are you a Taylor ham kind of guy?
I'm a bacon, egg, and cheese guy.
My man. There we go.
I think it's from what my understanding here in New Jersey is those are fighting words, depending on where you fall.
Yes, it's a North Jersey, South Jersey kind of thing. Matt, any
Yeah.
questions you want to ask Mr. Joe Douglas?
Yeah. Blink twice if Woody got you by the balls and won't let you fork over the money to Hassan Reddick.
How many eyes?
There we go. That's all we needed to know.
That's perfect.
No, I'm okay. No, I'm not. It's not an epileptic seizure. I was just exercising my eyelids. I'm okay. No, medics.
Woody's going to come tackle him right now. He's upset.
They thought that it's just us here, right?
Just us.
Okay.
No one else around. So, Douglas, got to ask you real quick before I let you go. What are your thoughts coming up here for the Titans game? How are we going to rebound?
Well, I remember telling you that our guys are embarrassed and they're pissed and they're coming in hungry. They're coming in fighting. You got to remember we faced a top tier defense. I like our chances. We're going to give Garrett the ball more. We're going to focus on him. And when you have to respect that, then that's going to open up lanes for Brees. And we're going to learn from the mistakes of last night. And we're taking off.
Joe Douglas, I am so glad to have you on here. Could you let everyone out in the audience know where they can find you?
They could find me on Jetstream on YouTube and a Discord link. I believe you have, Ryan.
I do. I will leave it in the pinned comment down below. I realize I did not add it to the description of this
Discord
particular video.
is free. It is for all Jet fans to come and chill and kind of melding all the Jet communities, as many as we can, into one, and all hang out and watch games together on streams and just talk about whatever. And just have a good time and kick it.
Hell yeah. Joe
So everyone's
Douglas.
welcome.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us. You have been ejected from Talking Jets. Always good to have the GM here. Joe Douglas, we met him actually on the Match Show. If you guys didn't know, myself and Matt went head to head with one another on the Match game. And unfortunately, Matt cheated and,
I cheated. They gave you 55 chances to tie.
I don't know about that. It felt like maybe they were trying to really push it, like where I could have a shot. Yeah, I may have lost. Bad.
That's okay. It was fun.
I was ahead for a little bit. I got some softballs.
Yeah, what the hell, man? I don't know who's on the question committee, but Snowball and Johnny Boy, they need to start talking to.
Oh, you guys. We love you in the chat. All right. So let's go. What were we talking about just before? We wanted to get into, I guess, do we want to talk about how we can rebound from this? Or actually, you know what? I've got something we could talk about, although I gotta cue it up because I did not have it set up in such a way. This is what happens when you do it on the fly. We have a special event coming up. Matt, would you like to share the details?
Yeah, so you guys have heard us talk a lot about the Jets Week 4 game that we're doing, but also this is just really breaking news. Just at the end of last week, this was officially confirmed. So I haven't dropped a ton of info out on this yet, but I am doing a watch party in New Jersey. So if you are looking for a place to watch Jets Titans, I will be in attendance at the Beach Gallery. Really looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Doors open at 12. It's free to get in. They have live game audio going throughout, the DJ during breaks, food and drink specials. You could check out their website for more details, tbgnj.com. And the owner's a Jet fan also. So support a local business, support other Jets fans. If you need the address, it's in 𝐒𝐿Sburg, New Jersey. So you just type in Beach Gallery, 𝐒𝐿Sburg, New Jersey. And again, like I said, free to get in. I'll be hanging out. Hopefully we get a big turnout of Jet fans at a new restaurant and support a Jets bar owner.
Yeah, this is like one of their first inaugural events. This is really cool that they've reached out to do this. Guys, definitely go down and support. If you haven't looked at the pictures, go to their website and check out some of the pictures. Rooftop bar or the overlook. This thing is literally one road from the beach. You could see the beach from the upper terrace. It is so friggin' nice. So absolutely head over there. Game 2, Jets Titans. You know where to watch it.
They're winning. They're getting back in the win column. So the Jets score, contrary to popular belief, not contrary to popular belief, but this kind of goes under the radar. The Jets scored 3 touchdowns yesterday. That doesn't happen very, very often. So we're going to be able to enjoy the Jets getting the end zone a few times against Tennessee because they're getting in the win column, getting this thing to 1-1 before they come home for the opener.
Hell yeah. We got to have that happen. We got to get back in the win column, 50-50, going into the Patriot game, which I wound up buying tickets to go to the home opener. I had no intention of really going. I was like, Thursday night, it's not going to happen. And then I was talking to Blewett, and Blewett's like, yo, so you going to any games this year? I was like, yeah, I'm kind of kicking around the idea of going to the home opener. And then he's just like, well, try to find tickets in my section. So I was like, yeah, screw it. Why not? Let's just see what the tickets are. See where I could find them. I found 2 tickets, literally the seat in front of Blewett. So I'm gonna be at the game with Joe. Week 3, Thursday Night Football. So if you're gonna be there and you see me, just say hi. Give a wave. Excited. And you know what's coming up week 4, Matt?
Our event.
You're damn right.
That's
our Talkin' Jets group by Jets Broncos. I should have made a graphic. I didn't do it. It's sold out. We are officially done selling tickets. We're very much excited for it. Everyone that's coming out, you guys are going to hang out with Tailgate Joe, myself, Matt, Green Bean. We're going to see a victory. Going to smack around the Broncos. Can't wait.
Bo Nix didn't look very good in his debut. I don't know how much you saw that game. I had Red Zone on Sunday and I just did not move off my couch for 8 hours. I was a garbage human being.
That sounds like a wonderful human being. I don't know. I don't want you talking bad about yourself like that.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was awesome, but the amount of food and beverage I put down without moving was just not not good. We gotta pace ourselves a little bit better. But it was week 1, so it's week 1 for everybody. But I did see when they flipped to that game, rookie quarterback did not look very good.
It is prime for a Jets beatdown on the 1 o'clock hour game slot. And we're going to go on the field after the game. So we're really looking forward to that. Going to get a bunch of pictures and video of everyone. Looking forward to it. So thank you guys so much for helping us sell that out. That was really a cool thing to see happen this past week. Yeah, got a lot of stuff going on. Let's just pop through the chat. We'll see what the group is talking about here. I'll be honest, I didn't have too many topics queued up. We talked about the Hassan Reddick thing. We talked about the running game. What am I missing? Am I missing any key points? Oh, you know what I want to talk about? The tackle that Michael Carter made. When you saw that, when he landed on the back of the legs, I jumped up and I was like, that's a hip drop tackle. Like, that's not allowed. We should get flagged for that. I don't know how you felt.
They might have got away with one there. And it looked like Jauan Jennings got hurt. Also on that play too, which I thought they would have called the flag for on that. I still am having a hard time with the illegal formation penalties more so. John Simpson got called for one, which I know how the guard isn't lining up. Like the tackles ones I get a little bit more, but the guard not on the line of scrimmage was really a head scratcher. So I'm not. That one I think is a bigger issue for me early on so far. The hip drop ones I think we'll see mixed in a little bit, but I can't stand all these illegal formation calls.
The illegal form, I didn't even realize they changed anything. Are they just like calling it more harshly or something? Or was there actually like a rule change to this? Because now I feel like you're getting into a situation where if the tackle has to be in line with the guard, you're not going to have that extra benefit of like kicking out wider, which I guess is probably a benefit to speed rushers like Will McDonald and Hassan Reddick. But it feels like it's a little less safe for the quarterbacks, which is an odd maneuver, I think.
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's all right. We usually have 3 people going around.
Yeah, so I'm trying to listen to you and also keep the chat in line here.
That's all right. So what are your thoughts on the not the hip drop tackle, the illegal formation penalty? Is that something that is like in a weird way like an anti-move against the quarterback? Like you're not in a better position to block a pass rusher at this point because you're closer to the line of scrimmage because of where the guard's lined up. So like, I don't know. It's just weird. I never seen it until honestly the Ravens game. The Ravens game, Ronnie Stanley had like 4 of them in a row.
Yeah, they were calling those and putting an emphasis on that, which is I know that they're trying to do that, and it's going to take a little bit for these things to adjust. But anytime the referees insert themselves more into these games, it just frustrates me a little bit. That's all. But I don't know like what the advantage of calling. Like I don't know how much of a difference it's really making calling all these.
Yeah, I can't imagine there's like, you're just slowing the game down a little bit more. Hype comes in, he says, he wrapped above the waist, not the legs, no flag. I might have to read the wording of the rule. I was under the impression like if you grab the waist and like swing your legs to drop your hip to tackle and landing on the back of legs, like that looked like textbook hip drop tackle for myself. If someone's in the chat that knows the verbiage of the rule itself, I would love to see that. I don't know. I think it was a hip drop. I think it's a bad move. But it wasn't called on our guy, so it was a great tackle. So there's that. Hawk saying...
They got him. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we got him. The way 𝐒𝐿 looked, we might see Zach against the Broncos for real. I want nothing more than to go against Zach Wilson week 4. I want our pound of flesh. I want the fans to be able to be rabid and chanting and just make his life a living hell. You might say, hey, it's a year later, it's not our quarterback, get the fuck over it. And I'm going to say, no, not until after week 4.
Well, I mean, he's also going to have to jump Jarrett Stidham on the depth chart also. So he's got a way to go. They got to bench Bo Nix first and then also bench Jarrett Stidham. So a lot would have to happen in the next 2 weeks for that to be the case. I would be surprised if he's playing week 4.
Well, hey, we did have a game 2 years ago where we played the Dolphins, and they just so happened to get down to that third quarterback. Not the way you necessarily want to, but oh God, I would love to see it. I really would. Halon saying week 4 JFM revenge game. Yeah, if we wind up getting like stonewalled by JFM and can't run the ball, I'd be super frustrated. From a pass rushing perspective, I don't think he's going to be much of an issue because I think our offensive line actually handled everything pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, looking at how the line played from left to right, I was pretty impressed with the pass blocking. There was one really bad rep from everybody, it felt like, but after that, I thought it was pretty clean. I thought they played a pretty clean game in comparison, like where they were a year ago. Rodgers dropped back 3 times in that game, and was pressured on every single one of those dropbacks, where that wasn't really the case last night. Hopefully more of the same there.
I got Lisa in the chat says, bang bang Nighter gang here. Good game, guys. Well, I'm just glad you had to subscribe and sent that super chat. So thanks for supporting the stream. Kick rocks. We'll see you in the Super Bowl.
I hope so, man. I as Aaron Rodgers said after the game, I hope we see them again later in the year. It's tough because, you know, they're a really good team. They've been to the Super Bowl a couple times in the last few years. They're always in the NFC Championship game. We said it when the schedules came out. The toughest game on paper was that week 1 matchup against San Francisco, and I think that was put on display here.
We got Josh coming in. Oh, hold on. Why can't I get that on the screen? Give me 1 second. Josh comes in and says, why run, pass again? Didn't we learn? That's like the Paul Hackett playbook, was run, pass, punt when we were under his thumb in the mid to early 2000s. So I guess it's just the apple didn't fall far from the tree.
The one formation that really bugged me was on that 3rd and 1, where they telegraphed that they were going to run behind Breece Hall. Or with Breece Hall, and they had Tyler Conklin in the backfield, and then they also motioned, I believe it was Alan Lazard across. And I don't know why they couldn't get Braylon Allen on the field for one of those runs or on one of the 2-point conversions, both unsuccessful. Like, why do you draft the 240-pound running back if you're not going to use him in short yardage situations?
Yeah, it didn't feel like it made any sense whatsoever. We've got Joe M in the chat. Joe M says, why did we keep running cover 2? It seems like every 3rd and medium, they would drop it between the 2nd and 3rd levels. It felt like he had all day to throw, Brock Purdy did, and it just took so damn long to get pressure on him. And like, we didn't get pressure on him. That's really like the biggest part of this whole puzzle. If you don't create any sort of pressure, he has all damn day to throw. And it's just going to create problems for the entire team. So I don't love it here. Matt, what were your thoughts on why did we keep running cover 2 and why were guys so open all the time between the 2nd and 3rd levels?
Yeah, I think there's just some miscommunication. I think defensively too, it looked like they could have maybe used some reps. I know it was a big talking point in the preseason whether or not they were going to play guys. In the preseason, they elected not to. None of the starters really played all that much. And, you know, that's going to be a debate whether or not that was the right call or not in week 1. Didn't look like that was the case. A lot of zone. I think they should go a little bit more man when you have Sauce Gardner, who was very good in coverage in this game. Not a great tackling day from Sauce, but it did just feel like guys were open all the time, huh?
Joe's coming in saying, where the hell were our other offensive weapons? Mike Williams, Conklin, etc. What do you think the rationale was for Mike Williams just not playing this game like at all?
I don't think he's fully healthy yet. I know that they wanted to bring him on. So, like Robert Saleh said, like it's not fair to expect him to be 100%. And I don't think they're going to use him until he's really up to speed. I think he played 9 plays in this game. Didn't have a target. It was 18%. Alan Lazard played 100%. Garrett Wilson 96. Xavier Gipson 59. And then Mike Williams after that was 18%, Malachi Corley 2%. So they had a lot of 2 tight ends. They didn't really go a ton with 3 and 4 wide receiver sets.
Jingle Dub saying Hackett can't hack it, with Ryan S coming in saying Hackett needs another 6 weeks to figure out Allen can run the ball.
Yeah,
Ryan.
Nathaniel Hackett didn't really do himself any favors with this game plan. I know that Aaron Rodgers has like a big part of it too, right? Like he's changing plays at the line of scrimmage. We talked about that, a lot. And I think some of the better plays that they had were checks from him at the line, but Hackett was very predictable with the run pass, and it's something that they're going to have to overcome this year.
Now, as far as just moving my windows around over here. As far as how we approach like the rest of the season, is there a player that you see now? And granted, it's only one game, but is there a player you see now that you do think will get better throughout the course of the season?
I mean, I think that everyone's gonna improve as the season goes on here. But if I had to pinpoint like someone who maybe was disappointing in week 1 that I think will be fine, the one that jumps out to me who's maybe the most disappointing, Jermaine Johnson. We've seen way too much good tape from Jermaine Johnson over the last 2 years for me to bail on him. Like he wasn't good. Breece Hall also didn't have a great day, but those are 2 guys who have won the Jets a lot of football games over the last 2 years, or well, not the Jets have won a lot, but in the games that they have won, those 2 have been major factors in that. So those are 2 guys, again, in particular, who maybe struggled a little bit, but I think are going to be totally fine down the line here.
I feel like I would have liked to have seen JJ on the right tackle as opposed to Trent Williams. Like I know he's probably best equipped to go against Trent Williams because of his strength and his power and whatnot. But like at some point, if he's not getting the pressure on that side, I'd rather him, who I consider our best pass rusher right now, on like the weaker of the 2 tackles, and then force Trent Williams to basically almost like the opposite of Revis situation, where you'd be like, okay, well, my best receiver is over there and Revis is guarding him. I'm just going to go to receiver 2 all day long. Like, why not pivot and try to make that move? So kind of frustrating to see that. �'𝐞𝐫𝐞 says, this felt like the Ravens opener in 2010 and 2022. I don't remember the opener in 2010, but 2022, we were at the game, and it felt like the Jets were like not totally far out of it. We were always kind of like hanging around, but just couldn't finish. Like having this game end the way it did, and I'm sort of I shouldn't say end the way it did, but go the way it did. I kind of just sort of threw my arms up. I'm like, well, that sucked. Like I'm not like, just super upset that we lost. I'm bummed we lost, but it didn't feel like we were totally outgunned where I felt like the rest of the season was kind of hopeless. Did you get any similar vibes to like that Ravens opener that we had a few years back?
In a way, I guess maybe that game for the first half where they were kind of hanging around. And then the Jets did score a garbage time touchdown at the end to make it feel a little bit closer than what it actually was. So that's a good pull. The 2010 one, I don't know if I agree with. That was a 10-9 final, although like obviously ugly game. They were in that. That was essentially a 1-score game the entire way. So I would say closer to 2022. And I mean, hey, that 2022 team, they started 1-2 and then just rattled off a bunch of wins in a row after that. And we're sitting at 7-4 at one point before things went really off the rails. Like this was really frustrating. And again, I don't want it to seem like I'm making excuses for the Jets because they didn't play well enough in this one, but there's week 1 there's so many overreactions every year to week 1. I think we'll have a better idea what this team's going to be a few weeks from now.
Sky C comes into the super chat. Thanks so much, dude. Says, hey guys, what happens if the Titans blow through our defense for the second week? It's panic mode because then Thursday is a must win. You cannot go 0-3 in this league. I don't remember what the exact stat is for teams that go 0-3 and make the playoffs, but it is not good. It is very, very bad. So the Jets need to right the ship this week. You can't afford to have the Titans like just run the ball on you. Because the Patriots wound up winning a sneaky game against the Bengals. We don't really know what they are yet. I still don't believe the Patriots are going to be a daunting task, but look, Jets got to start putting it together. I'm not concerned yet, but depending on how we play this Sunday, that thermometer is going to start raising pretty quickly. What were your thoughts on, I guess, how the Jets could turn it around for week 2, but also, like, what were your thoughts on, like, Salah's reaction to the loss?
So he's going to obviously be confident in his guys. And in 2022, after the Bengals game, he said that the Jets were going to get this defense right. And then after Dallas last year in week 2, he said the same thing. And he ended up being right. Like, it worked out. So he deserves a little bit of the benefit of the doubt when it comes to the defense. But what I will say is sometimes when he speaks, it comes off a little bit too nonchalant for me. Like there's no sense of urgency sometimes. It's like we'll get him tomorrow kind of mindset. And I think it just is a little bit too passive at times. I think that's been one of his flaws. Like, let's be honest, he hasn't been a perfect coach. I think there's some reason to believe that it could be turned around. Like, I'm not ready to completely bail on him after one game with Aaron Rodgers. I think we need to see how this year plays out before we make decisions like that. But an area that I definitely think he could improve is just his level of urgency at times. He feels too passive.
Yeah, the urgency is a good way to put that, because it does feel like he tries to keep a level head. Like, I had a teacher in high school that was like, you never want to get too high, you never want to get too low, because then there's this volatility that you have all the time. And staying even keeled is solid, but at some points, like, you gotta be able to, like, drop the hammer and at least say, like, hey, look, we screwed up. This was not our best effort. Let me see a little emotion and fire. Kind of replicate what the fans might be feeling internally, I think goes a long way. Not to say that's necessarily always the best way to handle things, but I think fans want to see that emotion come out too. Hype comes in with Super Chat, says, number one game plan was protect Rodgers first game to gel. Yeah, look, Hype, I think that's a good way to put it. I think it was like, hey, let's give Rodgers a shot. Let's give him an opportunity. We had plenty of opportunities. Early on in this game, we hit Lazard for a converted third down, and we just could not do it. Could not do it. And then all of a sudden, you go into the next drive. Brees fumbles the ball on a absolutely beautiful punch by Fred Warner. Not something you would think to, like, really worry too much about. Brees is pretty strong with the ball in his hands. It's not like he had the ball out to the side either. It was just a full on, like, haymaker of a punch. So, do you think the going into this first game, their main objective was like, hey, we just got to protect Rodgers. Like, let's just not get him hurt on day one again. Let's not do the Jet thing.
That's really shitty if that's the case, because it kind of feels like, in a way, like it almost feels like this was treated as a warm-up game or a preseason game, in some ways, and that also kind of rubs me the wrong way. That goes back to my urgency discussion. Like, I understand that it was the first game. I understand they need time to gel, which is why I want to reiterate, like, I'm not bailing on the season. I still think this team's winning 11, 12 games this year. But, like, we could also talk about them not being ready to play this game or being outcoached. Like, those are issues. They're not issues to the point where we're hitting the panic button saying season's over after one game, but, like, we don't have to spin everything into a positive here.
Yeah, for sure. I got a good comment from Joe here. Joe's asking, did the 49ers play their starters in the preseason? So let me pull that up real quick, see what was done. I'm fascinated to know the answer to this.
I don't believe they did, but
I don't think they did either.
Obviously, McCaffrey wasn't around all preseason. Ayuk wasn't. Trent Williams wasn't. But I'm trying to find it right now, like looking at some preseason stats, but that would be surprising to me if they did. I don't believe they were one of the teams that did.
So Purdy did. Purdy played. He played preseason game 2 and preseason game 3. Did not do well the first game against New Orleans. 7 pass attempts. Was it? Yeah, 7 pass attempts. 11 total snaps. And then 24 total snaps in preseason game 3 against the Raiders. So they at least, like, got to get out on the field. Like, I don't know how many times this full unit has been together. Like, how many days did Tyron Smith have off in training camp? And like, it just felt like 4 of 5 new offensive linemen was always going to take some time to gel.
Yeah, it is going to take time for a new offensive line to gel together. Although, again, on a positive note, they looked like they did in pass protection. Like that is definitely a win and something that I think you could take as a positive here. Is how they looked in pass pro, at least on the offensive line.
Lisa's 49ers, and her $2. Clemens got thrown down by our rookie right guard. There's a lot of all bark, no bite to Michael Clemens.
If I say what I want to say, I'll get attacked. I don't want to get attacked.
Michael Clemens, play better, please. We're rooting for you. Just don't suck. Let's see. Rob V asking or talking to the chat saying, to all you saying he wouldn't get fired at 0-3, this is an all-in year. They would and hopefully create a spark with a new coach. Do you think there's any situation where they pull the plug on Salah mid-season? Like, what would it have to get to? Is 0-3 the mark?
Yeah, I think so. I saw that was getting talked about in the chat. I think if they started 0-3, they would pull the plug and try to get this thing going in the right direction. It would be an uphill battle. Not a lot of teams make it from 0-3. It's very rare. It's hard to make it even if you're 0-2. But I think they would just try to get something, spark the team in some capacity, even if that's like Jeff Ulbricht's, you're the interim head coach, or like anything to try to get a spark. I think they would. I don't think it gets to that point though. So I don't think we have to worry about that.
Yeah, I really want to see Salah with like a full year of Rodgers and everything else, because I feel like we've been making, not that we've been making excuses, but like him and Joe Douglas both have just had terrible records because of Zach Wilson, and that's kind of what all of us have been telling ourselves. I don't want to believe that the coach is a big part of the reason why we're not winning, because that's a lot harder to change than it is a quarterback. Yeah, 0-3, I would have to imagine Ulbricht takes over. Or like, I don't think there's any way Hackett becomes the interim. I feel like Ulbricht has that. Middleton was the other one I was going to say. Middleton is one that wouldn't disrupt the defensive side and wouldn't disrupt the offensive side, and has called, been head coach. He was head coach for, was it the Senior Bowl 2 years ago? I know Ulbricht did it
the senior,
last year.
It was the Senior Bowl. It was the Senior Bowl a couple years ago. He coached one of the teams, and then the game where Salah was out with COVID.
Yeah, so he's got at least 2 games. So yeah, I would think probably Middleton would make the most sense. I think it's probably a good move. I mean, I like Ulbricht. I would want Ulbricht, I guess, as our head coach, but to not upset the apple cart, I think Middleton probably makes some sense there.
Oh, we got some good news from Green Bean in the chat. Did you see that?
No, what do you say?
He said, while you're searching for the comment, there you go.
Hey guys, we have enough donations to get our first Wayward Jets fan to their first home game. Wyatt the Marine is coming to September 29th. Final donation from a Dolphins fan. Wow. See, look at you guys. You guys are absolutely awesome. If you want to head down into the link in the description, I think it's labeled Sleeper, join the Sleeper League. But if you click on that link, you'll go to the Talkin Jets link tree. If you head over there, you'll see the Wayward Jet fan donation. If you guys would like to help us try to bring some some Jet fans who have never been to see a Jet game, never heard a Jet chant in the stadium in real life, help us bring some guys from around the world to see their first Jet game. We're bringing Wyatt out to our Jets Broncos game, so we're super excited to meet him. And thank you so much for your service, Wyatt, if you're out there watching this right now. Very, very excited.
So excited for that one. That's really awesome. That's great stuff.
While we've asking who's coaching, he called a terrible game. Ulbricht, he called a terrible game.
We gonna throw out the last 2 years? Come on, Wildwave, you're better than that.
He's like, I'm just gonna throw a wrench into what they're talking about right now. Hawk says, Phil, Ron Middleton. Ulbricht can still call defensive plays. Hackett and Rodgers can get coffee and run the offense together. Salah does nothing anyway. I think we hit the nail on the head. I think Middleton is the move, if you had to.
Oh, God.
I hope it doesn't happen.
I don't want to be. This is week 1. Can we get off the coaching change conversation? There's a big game coming up against Tennessee. There's plenty of storylines to talk about after this week 1 game. I don't know if we have to talk about fantasy 0-3 fantasy land and pulling the plug on Robert Salah here.
God, I hope not. Hawk does remind us that Middleton is 2-0 right now. Hype coming in with super chat says, if we had to switch coaches, I want Boyer over the rest. That would be interesting. I don't think they would do it because he's a critical coordinator. I feel like the critical coordinators you don't really want to move, especially in season. But again, I don't really want to talk about it. Pooch guy. Hey boys, when can we expect tickets for Denver? So I got to work on the seating chart. We got an email today too asking about it. I should send out the tickets, I would say in the next week or so. I'll get them out. Just check the email that you purchased the tickets from. You'll get an email from Ticketmaster. It's like a ticket exchange thing. You'll get that. They'll get transferred into your app. And then a week before the game, the Jets said they'll send out a promo code. And then I'll forward that to everyone else. And you guys will be able to get the discounted parking as well. Matt, do you remember what lot we're in the tailgate?
Yeah, it's lot E for Tailgate Joe.
Lot E is going to be Tailgate Joe. You guys don't have to park near us because I think that lot is a different parking pass than the one they give us the discount for. Tailgate Joe, because of his whole setup, is in a little bit more of a premium lot. So just
there's
park
parking like right. It's kind of like come down. Yeah, it's right next. I was gonna say across the street, but that sounds like so far. But it's really not.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's one lane of traffic this way, one lane of traffic the other way in the parking lot. We're talking like 100 feet away. There's another parking lot.
Yeah, it's really.
I think it's technically VIP where the lot E is.
Yeah, it's like I don't know if we're the gold pass and maybe it's like a platinum pass or something like that. There's like an elevated parking pass that I think is meant to be in that particular spot.
Look at the Zoom chat.
The Zoom chat. All right, let's see. Smart man. And I totally was not going to, but I am super excited to share a message, Matt. Nope, wrong button, Ryan. I froze the wrong half of the screen. What's going on? Sorry, Matt. Here you go.
Okay. Before we go any further, guys, well, this is the season for my bookie, baby. This is it. So, all right, here's the deal. It's that time of year. Winning season is back. Football is back, and my bookie's here to make sure you're ready to cash in on the action this season. My bookie is pulling out all the stops with incredible promotions like weekly risk-free boosts on Thursdays. Hey, that's perfect for Thursday Night Football. Or you can bet without a sweat. If your bet hits, you win big. If it doesn't, forget it. My bookie will refund your wager. But that's just the beginning. My bookie is giving away hundreds of thousands in prizes with Super, Survivor, and Squares contests. Get your entries in now for your shot at huge cash rewards. When you're ready to get started, use our promo code TalkinJets to claim a bonus that doubles your money on your first deposit. You heard that right. Doubles your money with promo code TalkinJets before you even place a bet. If you're looking for a spot to get in on your action for these Jets games or NFL or anything else that tickles your fancy, scratches the itch, if you will, sign up for my bookie, the proud sportsbook sponsor of Talkin' Jets, using our code, well, Talkin' Jets.
I love it. Head over to my bookie. Link in the description down below. Use our code. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. That's the best thing. If people support the sponsor of the channel, we get to keep making awesome content like this and screwing up live streams and stuff like that and dealing with annoying comments in the live chat.
The freeze bean.
Oh, the freeze bean. I miss the freeze bean. Someone drop a freeze bean in the chat. I want to see a little freeze bean in there. I'm going to let a little banana land action go. What's up, little banana?
I like the freeze bean. That was my favorite era of Talking Jets. I love it. I love everything that we do. But Green Bean on the road, when he would just randomly, like, there'd be like 1 week there'd be a tree behind him and like he's in the woods, and then the next week he's in like a swamp. It would change every week. And then the internet freezing, just good times.
It's all part of it. You see like the Sasquatch walking around behind him, or the different vlogs of the different areas he went. That was so good. It's a good time. Good time. Let's see. What are you guys talking about in the chat? Is someone actually talking about Belichick is washed? Hold on. Where's the comment?
What are we doing?
I'm interested in this one. Belichick is washed. Asked his own fans in New England. They hated him for years after Brady, and he would want full control with GM duties as well. Yeah, let's let that guy ride off into the sunset. I don't care how much nice shit he says about the New York Jets. I don't want him here at all.
No, he's not a good coach anymore. The game has passed him by. Like, that happens with everyone, man. Father Time is undefeated. Bill Belichick is going to walk into the Hall of Fame with Tom Brady. They're fantastic. They beat our ass for 25 years, the whole thing, but enough. It's bad, but the one that really gets me, and I know that I'm going to mention it now, it's going to come up in the chat. The favorite is, bring back Rex Ryan. He should coach this team. Dude, is that in the chat? Did you just pull that up?
No, I didn't, but I was just going to say, Hawk thought, think about what Rodgers and Belichick could scheme up for teams. Oh my God, it would be like having Brady again. Their combined IQ would be a weapon in and of itself. So I'm almost like 95% sure that we heard from Rodgers at some point talking about how he and Belichick had talked about what it would be like to team up in the past. I don't think it's any kind of recent conversation, like not within the last, 3, 4, 5 years. But I'm pretty sure the last time they played in Green Bay or like against one another, I think they had that type of conversation. I don't know if I heard that on McAfee or where I saw that. That would be a curveball though. Oh, sorry, Sal, you're out. Friggin' Belichick in. God, I just don't want it. I don't want to have to root for that.
I'd rather, if you want to bring a retread coach back who's at least been like productive in recent years, I'd rather Pete Carroll.
Ooh.
At least he feels like he's high energy, can relate to the players, has had a little bit more success recently than some of the other retread options that get kicked around.
Yeah, right. Like you're talking, like people always bring up, what is it, Coughlin? No, Cowher. That's what it is. People always bring up Cowher. Always bringing up Cowher
for almost 20 years at this point. And he's still going to get brought up.
I was going to say forever. It's got to be what, 2008, 9, somewhere in there when he walked away from the Steelers.
2006. It's literally 18 years.
Holy
ago.
crap! Yeah. I didn't realize it was that long.
Yeah, I was in 6th grade, man. That's a long freaking time ago.
Dude, I was, what grade was I? I was a sophomore. Holy crap. Sophomore in high school. That's a long time ago. Let's see. Look at Rob V in there. Thank you, Ryan and Matt. Oh, thank you. We like you. Bray asking, can we still be a top 10 defense with this roster? Yeah, I think so. This is just a 1-game sample size against like arguably one of the best rosters in the league. So count that as more of like a we're getting going kind of a thing. If this winds up rearing its ugly head for the first quarter of the season and through 4 games, we're seeing like, wow, I don't know if we can stop this run, or I don't know like how this defense is going to look. Yeah, then we're going to be panicking. But I think I'm not too concerned just yet.
No. No. Yeah, I'm not concerned just yet. Again, it's one game. If against Tennessee with Will Levis at quarterback, who was throwing sidearm passes like this, pick sixes. By the way, the meme of him on his knees with his hands up like this is an incredible sports picture. I hope that lives on for forever. That was great. But if Will Levis and the 49ers hang 30 on the Jets, then we're going to start to sweat. It's going to be a very different vibe a week from now on Tuesday. But again, it's week 1. The Patriots beat the Bengals. Do we think the Patriots are going to be a playoff team and the Bengals are going to be picking in the top 5 now? No. The Bengals always start slow. They start 0-2 every year, somehow end up getting to the playoffs. They don't get the benefit of the doubt. Aaron Rodgers, his last few years in Green Bay, looked horrible in week 1. Tom Brady got blown out his first game against the Saints with the Bucks. I'm not bailing on 2 years of a sample size off this one game.
Joe, the Jet G says, stop with the head coach talk. It's week 1.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be Jet fans if we didn't bitch and moan unconditionally.
No, it's stupid. Can we talk about again something that came out of this game or anything about the next 16 games? We want to live in this fantasy world of what if my father's uncle's brother trips and hits his head at the tailgate in week 1, and then what? How does that impact the Jets the rest of the way? Silliness, guys. Come on.
Silly season. I do want to get your thoughts. Sauce came out for a little bit during the game. Salah said it was just a stinger. Once he felt better, he went back in. Sauce said the same thing on Twitter today. Did you think it was weird at the time, like him not being in? Because it felt like a very unsauce thing to do, but we've also never seen him take like a hit, super hard.
That was weird. The Sauce Gardner situation. I saw people saying that they benched him or it was a disciplinary thing. After the game, it sounded like he kind of just got the wind knocked out of him and he's trying to catch his breath. That's the impression that I got between both Salah and Sauce. But there's then the debates on, is that a conditioning thing in week 1, and is that a problem that, like, again, should they have been playing, and all those narratives are going to come around. But it was strange, but I don't think there's concern for me on Sauce Gardner. Sauce Gardner's probably guy number 53 that I'm concerned about on this team.
Yeah, I'm not overly concerned with what's going on. I was just like seeing him out. I was like, oh no, he's actually like really hurt. And then when they like pan to the camera on the side and they're like, oh yeah, Sauce Gardner, he's not in there. We were just told there is no injury, but he's just not on the field right now. I was like, oh boy. What was being said on that sideline? What kind of rabbit hole am I about to go down? How thick is my tinfoil hat? And I'm glad I didn't have to go too far, and it seems like there is nothing more beyond that. Beefy says, Tyron Smith got beat on almost every passing play Monday night. Can someone explain that shit? All right, let's just see where we were.
Game. He got beat once. He had one holding call on Nick Bosa.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could agree with that. Again, he had Nick Bosa definitely got him one time. And there was a sack, but I didn't really watch Aaron Rodgers under pressure last night.
I think I have, let's see. Well, if you guys didn't know, Matt is going to be at the Beach Gallery. Do you want to give the rest of the read? I don't need to rattle the whole thing off.
No.
If you guys want to watch the Titans game.
Yeah, Titans game, Beach Gallery. I'll be there, 12 o'clock, free entry. Come say hello, watch the game.
Hell yeah. I just want to pull up the pass blocking. So Tyron Smith finishes the day with 2 penalties. It looks like they credited him with John Simpson's penalty. Is that correct? Because Simpson doesn't have a penalty under his name. That was the illegal formation, which, to be fair, definitely feels more like a tackle penalty than a guard penalty, like we were talking about earlier.
Tyron Smith did have a penalty. He did have a holding call in this game, though.
I know he had a holding call, but then if you look under John Simpson, there is no penalty attributed to him.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, my fault. I didn't see the 2. Yeah, that's a mistake. That should be split.
Not good. Morgan Moses, I didn't realize how bad he played. He gave up 2 hurries, 1 hit, 3 pressures total. Got to clean that up. Do you think there's any residual injury? His was a shoulder? Is that what it was?
Yeah, they worked him. It was a pectoral. So they worked him back a little bit. And that's why I said I wouldn't be surprised if we see Olu Fashanu have to play games at both left tackle and right tackle. Moses usually plays every single week and plays through stuff, but he's 33 now and he had off-season surgery. So it's, it's something that might have to come up where, he's going to get banged up and miss 2 games. And if you have Olu to come in, I feel pretty comfortable with him being the first guy up off the bench rather than a Max Mitchell or Carter Warren type.
Mogul coming in and says, okay, but the Jets are supposed to be a Super Bowl team, and you're basically saying the Jets can beat the bottom teams. The bottom teams won't be in the playoffs. We got to get rolling, right? Like, look, Rodgers historically has not been very good the beginning part of the season, and I think most of us would say those 2 MVP seasons that he had were pretty decent. So I would not, I'm not going to write anything off right now. We're not going to, our first, I don't want to say our first real test. Our first real test was yesterday, but I'm taking each game as a 1-game season. I don't give a shit about the Patriot game right now. I care about the Titans game. Let's win the Titans game. After that, they don't care about the Patriot game. I don't want to think too far ahead.
That's the trouble. And Mogul's right to point out, like, if for the Jets, like, if we want to say that they have Super Bowl aspirations, you have to be competitive and beat teams like the 49ers. That doesn't mean that they can't down the line. Like, if they beat Buffalo in a few weeks, Buffalo's a team that's always in the playoffs. That would be a big win. Houston later in the year would be a really big win. Like, they're going to have other opportunities to prove that they belong. If they lose to every over 500 team or only beating the bottom feeders, then yeah, that's a problem. But the mark of a good teams beat the teams they're supposed to. And like, that can't go understated. Like, I don't really want to hear, oh, well, the Jets were supposed to beat the Titans. So what does that mean? Like, I don't know. It means they did their job. Like, that's a good thing. The NFL is weird. Teams win games they're not supposed to win every year. They lose games they're not supposed to lose every year. The Jets beat the undefeated Eagles last year with Zach Wilson and a beat up offense and Al Lazard and everything. And so I don't know. NFL's weird. Let's not go too nuts here in week 1.
Do you know what they call a team that can't beat teams over 500? Special name for it.
What's that?
The Dolphins.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
I don't have where's my There we go. Little rim shot. Done. Amazing.
That was good. That made me laugh. Thank you.
Had to catch you off balance a little bit. Brian
It worked.
Comes in with a super chat, says, what D-line additions are in the near future? I don't think we're adding
Hassan
anyone.
Reddick.
Yeah, well, that's
Hassan
exactly it.
Reddick,
That's
yeah.
the only one you could possibly have. Like, I don't think we're adding anyone else besides that. Is there anyone else even like on the market? I know Lawson signed somewhere. Not that I really want him back anyway, but I can't think of any other players that are like on the market that would be like appealing.
And if you're signing someone off a practice squad or someone off the couch who's a free agent right now, you got bigger fish to fry. Like that's a pretty big issue. They need the guys that they have here to figure it out. They need 𝐒𝐿𝐫𝐞𝐞 to be healthy. They need to get Hassan Reddick in the building. They need more out of Quinnen Williams and Jermaine Johnson and the rest of that group up front. But they're not going to just find somebody off the street who's going to come in and be able to perform.
Squidward Tentacles says, I'd re-sign Al Woods and Quentin Jefferson if he didn't sign elsewhere. Quentin Jefferson signed with the Browns, so he is not an option, but Al Woods popped his Achilles. I think he's probably done for his career. I don't know if he's coming back from that. He's pretty old.
Yeah. He is. I thought he was good last year before he got hurt. That was really unfortunate with Al Woods. And I liked Quentin Jefferson. I wanted the Jets to bring him back. They pivoted to Javon Kinlaw. I think, Kinlaw will serve that role for better or for worse. I thought he was good as a pass rusher or, comparatively to what the Jets did yesterday. He was one of the better pass rushers of the group. Against the run, it wasn't pretty, though. And you can say that for just about every single guy on the defense.
Bray says, would have liked to have seen them try Taylor and McGregor towards the end to see how they would do against the run. So Taylor was inactive for yesterday's game, so he couldn't get on the field. McGregor did not have, at least not a very good pressure percentage. Let me see if I could see what his stats were. Yeah, he had 8 snaps, 4 against the run, 4 against the pass. He had a 29.3 Pro Football Focus grade total, which doesn't make any sense to me because his run defense grade and his pass defense grade are both 53.7 and 56.4. So where the 29.3 comes in, the world may never know. That's Pro Football Focus grades for you.
Yeah, I don't understand their grading system, honestly.
Hype says, imagine we trade Reddick for Myles Garrett, if only. Why would the Browns do that? Hype? Why? Why? What are we doing? What are we doing here? Imagine if we trade Reddick for fucking Patrick Mahomes or fucking, I don't know, anyone. Superstar. Come on, Hype.
I love hype. He's always in here with us, hanging out. Sends us reports, sends us chats.
He's a good dude.
But
we like him.
That was tough, man.
Squidward's just dying over there. Oh, jeez. Shouida. Not Reddick. This guy is going to screw us. For not only a 3rd-round pick, but his whole contract, he will only probably play 3 games max this season. Look, I really don't want to pay Reddick. I'm deathly afraid of paying him like a 3-year deal and him not being as advertised. And then now we've not only screwed ourselves for this season and next season, but also potentially shoot ourselves in the foot in terms of trying to like re-sign some other key pieces to this team. I think more so on principle, and maybe that is cutting off my nose to spite my face, but like, I don't know how we fix the Hassan Reddick situation other than trading him away for another asset. That's like the only way I could see this even playing out, where another team can give him the big deal that he wants.
Yeah, I don't know what the end result is going to be here with Hassan Reddick. Like, it doesn't make sense what Hassan Reddick is doing, sitting out an entire season or sitting out and only playing in 3 games this year. Makes 0 sense from his side, as someone who's looking for a new, big contract. And from the Jets side, when they're trying to go all in and win a Super Bowl, not getting the star pass rusher you brought in to replace 2 of your better edge rushers and John Franklin Myers and Bryce Huff is just, it's weird. I don't think either side has handled this well. And I hope there's a solution sooner rather than later, because the more that it just is so annoying to continue to talk about.
Yeah, and like I don't see how Reddick comes out of this in like a better situation, like unless he's just like, hey, Douglas, you got to do something you don't want to do if you want me on the field. And like, I don't think Douglas is gonna bend. I really don't. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. Hype says, LOL, may not happen with Watson, new charge. Dude, Deshaun Watson might be the worst trade of all time.
I mean, just
that's a stinker.
Bad human, now bad quarterback. They can't get out of that. They this year and 2 more on top of it. So get ready for about 50 more games of Deshaun Watson as your quarterback. That's brutal, man.
So get this. His cap hit this year is $27.9 million. The next 2 years, 72.9, 72.9. The next 2 years. They cannot get out of that deal. He's stuck there at least this year plus 2 more. And then even after that, when his contract voids in 2027, they're on the hook for $27 million. They've hitched their wagon to Deshaun Watson because the only way they're going to be able to field a team the next 2 years is if they extend him on a longer deal and it stretches that money out even further. So like, I don't know, dude. I was so excited about the potential of getting Deshaun Watson like 4 years ago, and to see how everything has gone down the last little bit here, I'm not gonna lie. Screw the Browns, and I'm kind of happy that he sucks.
Well, yeah, I mean, just again, not a good dude. And hey, Hassan Reddick, look what happens when you sit out a year. You're never the same.
Yeah, Le'Veon Bell, same thing. Like, what team is going to pay Hassan Reddick a lot of money after sitting out this entire year? Like, it just doesn't feel like he's making any sort of like calculated move here, because the Jets are going to get all that money back on their salary cap, provided he doesn't come and do a hold in, and then we own his rights for next year. Although I can't imagine us rolling into the season with him next year on a 1-year, $15 million deal. I think we'd probably just try to trade him at that point. Or do you just cut him? What do you do after the season? Like, let's say he doesn't show up at all. What do you do? Right?
I don't know.
You roll the dice because it's like, hey, Super Bowl or bust again. Are you going to sit out 2 years, asshole?
I can't live in a world where Hassan Reddick doesn't show all year, and we have to spend all offseason talking about whether the Jets should trade Hassan Reddick, give him an extension, or hold firm. That's what we got to do. Another year of just tweets. Hold firm, Joe. Don't fold. The Jets don't need Hassan Reddick. They're fine.
Ooh, this is a good one. Peter S. Reddick for Clowney from Carolina in a pick swap. JD fleeces them again, like with Darnold. Just kidding. No, seriously. I wanted Jadeveon Clowney. I would have taken Jadeveon Clowney. And with the way this situation is playing out right now, I mean, I do think Hassan Reddick is the better edge rusher. But Clowney's a good friggin' player. And if we can't get Reddick in the building,
that he's not as good of a pass rusher, but he's a really good edge rusher against the run. So, I mean, I don't think that's very likely. And Peter, who answered that, great guy, I think he realizes that that's not like a crazy high possibility, but he would be an improvement. The Jets clearly need something at edge if Hassan Reddick isn't here, and a guy like Jadeveon Clowney would only help.
So Clowney, if traded, would be less than $1 million, or about $1 million, I should say, for the Jets this year, and then it would be an $8.5 million deal next year, in which I don't think any of it's guaranteed, or $2 million is guaranteed. I can't believe we couldn't get him in for that number.
Yeah, that was strange. I don't know. There's a couple of things this offseason that were a little strange.
Yeah, that one didn't really feel like that one made any sense. Speaking of the Carolina Panthers, Bryce Young trade. Booty cheeks. That is terrible.
I feel for Carolina fans. There is no hope. He is awful. Bryce Young is really, really bad. And I know he's still so early into his career. And I know that I'm sure there's some fans in Carolina that are making excuses for him. The team isn't good, all that, but
he looks bad.
He looks really, really bad.
Looks like a 10-year-old playing with grown men. Like, that's what it looked. He looks so tiny and so small. Even Kyler doesn't look very good right now. Like, he had Marvin Harrison Jr. running wide open a bunch of times. He looks a lot better than
Sorry,
Young.
go ahead.
I was gonna say he looks a lot better than Young. Like, I wouldn't write Kyler off, but I'm just saying, like,
no,
the short quarterbacks not doing their thing right now.
No, we've been able to, like, for example, Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray are two short quarterbacks who've had success in the league. But Bryce Young is just such a massive outlier, even more than those two. He's smaller than both those guys, and the footwork just looks awful. He looks like he has zero confidence in the pocket. He doesn't move well in the pocket. He's very, like, I don't know. Like, I can't even describe it. His footwork looks really lazy, and everything's late. It's I feel for him, but he's not the answer.
Yeah, I feel like when I look at, like, our Jets ownership and we're, like, frustrated with some of that, sometimes I look at the Carolina Panthers and I say, well, hey, at least we didn't trade up for a 5'9" quarterback in the first round, give up Caleb Williams and DJ Moore in the process. Absolutely bonkers. Jonathan Moore comes in with Super Chat, says, Kyle kills our zone defense so bad. Sauce, 9 plays. Sauce, 9 plays. Sauce only played? There's no way Sauce only played.
He missed.
Took off 9 plays?
He missed 9 plays. He played 63 of a 72. It was a really long drive that actually the 49ers were throwing the ball, and I believe Purdy was 6 for 6 on that drive with Sauce Gardner off the field. He was great in coverage. I know, people are upset because he didn't tackle well, and he's not a great tackler. That's not his calling card. But in this game in particular, he missed some tackles, which upset people. But in coverage, guy was awesome. Didn't allow a catch. Was targeted twice.
Guy's a beast, absolutely beast. God, people chirping in the chat. Behave.
Everyone's upset, man. People are cranky after a loss.
That's exactly it.
It'll be okay. I think we just need a vibe cleanse. We need to see the Jets go out, beat up on a bad Tennessee team, get Will Levis to turn the ball over a couple times, hold them under 20 points. I don't know. Can you win by double digits? Can it be like 28-17? That'd be a nice, like, get right. Or even if they scored less than that, 30-3 would be sick. But I would take a 10-point plus win on the road. I'd feel a lot better.
I'm putting Eddie and Rob V in a 5-minute timeout. Calm down. I see you guys in there. You guys are getting fired up. It's okay. We love you. Just chill. Chill. We're all here to see this team hopefully win some damn games.
They will.
Boys and girls, make sure you hit that like button. We have about 20 minutes left in our show. And for every 25 likes we get on this video, we're going to pick a t-shirt, hat, shirt, mug, jersey, qualifier in this stream. So we've got 160 likes right now. Let's see if we can get it over 200. We got over 200 people in the chat right now. There's no reason why we can't get it over. Jets fan.
You got this.
Form? Four-room
Nope.
indie? Jets
From.
fan. Oh, from. Wow. I'm an idiot. Jets fan from Indy. Thank you so much for the super chat. I'm an idiot. We will be okay. We will still win the division. Yeah, I'm not concerned. We're all right. Even though the entire AFC East is 1-0 and we're not. We've played the harder team.
Not most. A lot of people pick the Jets to win this game. But if I told you, hey, the Jets are going to lose to the 49ers, I don't think anyone would be like, oh my God, what do you mean? That's catastrophic. How could they possibly lose to the defending NFC champions and the team that's in the NFC championship game every single year? I think people go, okay, yeah, that was one of my five losses I penciled in anyway. So, okay. Again, the bigger issue is if this is a repeat performance in week 2. And I think that's where this is getting lost a little bit. And again, I'm not like saying you can't be frustrated. You can. I'm frustrated with it. I was getting frustrated watching, and everyone's mad online. I get it, but it's week 1. The week 1 overreaction is a little bit much.
Andrew Yale comes in the chat and says, predictions for the Titans game. I mean, I'm predicting a win. I think we're going to come out. We're just going to be pissed off, and we're going to take it out on the Titans. That's what I want to see happen. What do I think is going to happen? I mean, I know my Jets always find a way to screw me. So I will be betting the Tony Pollard over on rushing yards because I'm totally fine with losing some money if it means our Jets are getting a victory. I don't know. What do you think? What?
The reverse jinx.
The reverse jinx. Yeah, see, I'll bet on the over for the rushing yards on our opponent because I know our Jets will stop him then because that's just how it works. I know that's how that works.
Yeah, unfortunately, Tennessee ran the ball pretty well against Chicago in week 1. 26 carries for 140 yards, excuse me. That's essentially the same stat line that the 49ers put up. But the good news is Brock Purdy versus Will Levis. There's a big skill difference there. Will Levis, 19 of 32, 127 yards, 4 yards per attempt, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, 1 atrocious. I can't emphasize enough how bad that pick 6 was. That was truly awful. 3 sacks, a 30.8 rating. The right side of their offensive line is a potential issue, I think, in this game. They obviously have, rookie J.C. Latham at left tackle and Peter Skoronski at left guard. But they're still trying to work some kinks out on the right side of the line. So I think this would be a bounce back spot for the Jets defensively. Now, for the Titans defense, they're sneaky. They're a sneaky, tough defense. I think they're, a better unit than some people are going to give them credit for, but it's not Tim Boyle, Zach Wilson, Trevor Siemian starting this game. It's Aaron Rodgers. So if the Jets score over 20 points in this game, that should be enough for them to win. Did I say Panthers before when I said predictions for the game? I don't know. Did you? I see someone say Panthers, so I'm questioning what I said now. Just when Jets says score prediction, Jets 24, Panthers 16. I don't. Oh, yeah, I must have said that. That's why. I'm an idiot. Or right above that, or something. I think so. I don't know. Beefy says, if they play like that in week 2, I'll go bald like JD. Yeah, I felt like they were just so close to being right. And I don't want them to take another loss figuring out. I'd be fine with us having this game be closer in a win, because obviously you'd rather figure out your stuff on the fly in victories. But I don't know. I just don't want it to take overly long for this team to start to gel in a meaningful way. No, but again, they had their toughest opponent on their schedule came in week 1. It's going to be really dependent on what happens on the road in Tennessee. Now they have to travel again, and it's 3 games in X amount of time. Like we did that whole thing last week. It's a lot of football, so they're going to have to gel quickly. But there's a lot of veterans on this team now. I think if they're as good as we were led to believe, then they should get it back on track and hopefully rattle off some wins. Because when you look at just look at the quarterback matchups that they have in these next few games. Will Levis and Jacoby Brissett and Bo Nix and then Sam Darnold. Like, if you can rip off, win hopefully all 4 of those games, but even 3 of those 4, and then you're in an okay spot.
Then you're home against Buffalo Monday night. I want to have a good record going in that game. I want to be hyped up. Wesley says, I hope we can take advantage of Levis. Poor decisions, if he makes any. He's going to make plenty. We're actually going to put pressure on him. That's
Sun going to come up tomorrow?
That's yes. Yes, Matt. We'll be good. And if it doesn't, we got bigger problems.
That's where I'm at.
Hawk says, Salah needs pressure Levis and make him make mistakes. He better not sit back and let Levis play in the pocket and dink and dunk us to death. Yeah, look, they still have pretty good weapons over there, so I don't want to take them lightly at all. They still got Hopkins. They added Calvin Ridley. They've got Pollard out of the backfield. Like, that team's trending up in the team building aspect. They're probably still a year or 2 away, but overall, can't overlook them.
No, you can't. Pollard they brought in had a really nice first game. Tajay Spears averaged over 5 yards a carry. They ran the ball well, so that's gonna. I think Tennessee is not dumb. They saw what the whole world did on Monday night. They're gonna try to run the ball. They also saw their quarterback literally throw the game away. So it's gonna be on the Jets to, for lack of a better term, just man up and get it right against the Tennessee Titans here. Defensively, Salah says they know what they have to do. Well, show it. I don't want to hear them talk about it. I want to see it on the field.
Eddie, fresh out of his timeout, says the X factor that we have now that we never did is Aaron. Aaron will have this team ready to rebound. I do think you'll start to see a little accountability. After Lazard dropped that pass on 3rd down, I thought there was no way he was going to try and look his direction again. I thought he was going to get the Peyton Manning treatment.
Yeah, well, for a while that was the case. It was only Garrett Wilson who was catching passes for the Jets. In the second half, that obviously changed, but there's a connection there. Not only the touchdown throw, but I thought he had a beautiful pass, Rodgers, on the left side. It was kind of like a little fade, kind of, but just put in an absolutely perfect spot. And Rodgers still has it. We saw him flicking the wrist and getting the ball out there. So if they get that other stuff up to speed, I believe they'll be fine.
Yeah, we haven't had a quarterback this good ever. Come on. Just want to win. Robbie, Hawk, F them. I'm just kidding, Ryan. No timeouts. You guys are good. See?
Behave.
You guys talking. You're good.
Yourselves.
You guys will be fine. Oh, man. Dude, I want to win. I want to feel the electricity. I want to just I wasn't able to get the every throw video up. Super frustrating. I tried no less than 13, 14 times on YouTube to get it up, and YouTube kept blocking me. And I don't know if it's because the Manning casted their video on YouTube, or it's something going on with the Disney, ESPN, DirecTV stuff. But literally every time I tried to post the every throw, it was you got to edit this out. You got to edit that out. 13 times. I was up till 3 a.m. I'm not a happy camper. Super bummed. So if you guys are looking for the every throw at some point, I'm either going to just stop doing it, or I'm going to post it over on Twitter, see if we can build that up.
It got some traction over on Twitter though. I saw.
Yeah. So see, I guess that helps build the Twitter following because I don't really have like a great Twitter following. I'm really bad at using Twitter. I'm trying to get better. Last year and a half or so, I've tried to prop that up a little.
113,000 impressions that tweet.
I guess that's good. Is that good? I don't really know. I think that's good. Sounds like a high number.
That is a high number. That's a lot of views.
Yeah, if you guys are not following me on Twitter, you want to do me a solid. Boom. Jets Talk 24/7. Yeah, it doesn't help the YouTube channel. Doesn't get the subscribers over here, but still gets out to the fans. People are able to see it. I enjoy it. What else we got going on? We got 10 minutes left. We got fill the airwaves for 5 minutes, Matt. What do you want to talk about? What's going on in your life? How's the new house? How's the new house going?
The new house is fantastic. I have a Jets flag out, and my neighbor across the street, his name is Artie. I love him to death. He's pretty electric factory. Not like older, but like in his 60s. But when he saw the flag outside today, I was bringing the pails in. He was like, "Oh my God!" I saw the flag. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm so happy. The new neighbors are Jet fans." He's like, "I've been a Jet fan since 1972, and when I was 10 years old." And we had a nice conversation about the Jets. And Artie, good news. Artie is confident that the Jets bounce back this week. So that eased my nerves going into this game. I can tell you that much.
It makes me feel good. Actually, we were doing the draft in my first day or first draft in the new house, and I had to walk the dog during I think it was day 3 of the draft. I go outside. Okay. I'm in my Jet jersey. My neighbor's a Jet fan. So it's great. We're moving next to good people. Green beans in the woods. Yeah. I'm pretty sure there's like a deer or something that's a Jet fan out there, which is friggin' sweet.
Yeah, he's got a chicken and a skunk that are Jet fans on his property.
Just a dick and a fart walking around. It's all right. It basically sums up our Jet fandom the last 50 years. That's all right. Any projects you got going on in the house? What are you guys working on?
Any projects? No, not really. Right. We
painting rooms.
All the rooms were freshly painted when we moved in, so we didn't have to do anything like that. The biggest one was Crossfire with the electric, which we did. Shout out Crossfire. Even big for me. We got central air put in right when we first moved, which is amazing. I love it. We had all the duct work was in, so we only really needed the outside unit, and there was a unit in the attic that just wasn't hooked up. So we did that. I got to get the yard right. That's the next one, but it's still too hot to put seed down and grow that. So a few more weeks before we get the backyard going, but it's tough. I've said this before, but the one thing that I don't love about this house is there's no garage or shed in the backyard. So eventually I'm going to get a shed, but there's just a lot of expenses that come up with getting a house and getting it up to speed. So it's on the list. It's just a little bit further down the pecking order. We'll get there. But I feel like once I get that, I'll be able to store some more things outside and be able to do more in the backyard.
Oh, dude, I feel that. We moved in. Luckily, there was a shed here. I do have a garage. My garage does not have I have a shelf in it, but I have like tools and shit all over the ground. It sucks. I got to get myself some like cabinets or something. I got to look at like Black Friday sales or something like that and try to like get some cabinets, get a little pegboard, hang some like frequently used items, hammers, screwdrivers, that sort of crap. But it takes a while. Been in the house 3.5 years now.
Accumulating stuff too is just, I don't know, but I love it. It's been a blast so far. It's stressful, but it's I don't know. I feel like it's getting a little bit easier as we go. First football Sunday this past week was a home run. I ate like an absolute animal. I was telling you. But your favorite we did buffalo chicken dip.
I did that last night.
And we had some leftover. That's what I was gonna get into. We had some leftover buffalo chicken dip, and we made quesadillas with it for last night. So we had buffalo chicken quesadillas.
There's a place by me that does buffalo chicken quesadillas. I took my leftovers with me to work for lunch today, so I did not get the buffalo chicken quesadilla that I could have for lunch. I'm holding that off till Thursday, but delicious. Absolutely amazing. Did you do you have people over to watch the game, or are you more of like the solo artist?
No, I hate like I don't which is so ironic. I shouldn't be saying this because I'm doing a watch party next week. Week too. But in my ideal situation is by myself.
Fucking no one show up. We hate. No, I'm kidding.
No. I'm very excited to hang out with Jet fans. It's a really fun opportunity. It's gonna be great to go to a Jets, a new Jets bar. Really looking forward to that. But I like to watch the game by myself. With usually growing up, it was usually me, my dad, and my sister would watch every game together. I would get invited out to watch the game with a friend and stuff like that. I'm like, it just didn't feel right anytime I wasn't, at the home base. And I still feel that way now. Maybe, I like to go to one or two games a year. My buddy Tyler, who helped us out of the draft party, like I'll go usually like once a year to his house and do a whole slate there. But other than that, I'm in my home base doing content. Bathrooms are right there. I know
no lines.
Bartender pours a stiff drink at my house. It's a good spot.
Don't have to wear pants. It's incredible. Like even here, you guys haven't even noticed. I'm like commando. I guess not commando. It'd be balls out. Totally naked.
What?
I'm naked underneath. You guys have no idea.
Come on now.
Speaking of Tushy.
Oh.
Oh God. This is what happens. We get slap happy at the end of the night when Green Bean's not here.
Yeah, it was tough without Green Bean tonight. I missed him. I wanted to give him the business a little bit on John Franklin Myers and Michael Clemens because I just feel like that storyline was exacerbated by how they played and what the end result was. But Green Bean is coming back from Florida. We'll get him back next week, and when he's back, we'll be talking about a Jets win. So that makes me very, very happy.
Makes me feel good. Let's head over.
I'm gonna put him on the spot for a second here, and I don't know if you know the answer or not. But is his and Tiggo's show coming back this week or next week?
I did know this. It's this week because they're normally Wednesday, right? So when we finished our show last week, he had said not this week, but next week.
Yeah, but because they go at it. You thought Green Bean and I went at it about John Franklin Myers and Michael Clemens. No. It was Tiggo and Green Bean going at it about Bryce Huff over in March. That's the real debate.
I can't wait to see them go at it because Tiggo knows how to get it under Green Bean's skin, and then Green Bean just lets it get he gets himself all fired up, and then the stack blows. It's absolutely great. Boys and girls, we have reached the baggage claim portion of our episode tonight. Matt, I'm going to go over to last week's stream.
Oh, you're going to give me some names here?
I'm going to give you some names. Let's see. Let's see.
Okay, I'm ready.
What the
we
hell
have 32 so far. We got a pretty good number tonight.
Not too shabby. Where's our... What the frack?
Go to Talkin Jets.
I'm on it. Oh, there it goes. No, see, it's just got myself confused. All right. We got a bunch of timestamps. All right. We got the gag.
Gagney. Okay, that's one.
Joey Jets.
Joey Jets is another. Okay.
FBJT.
BJT. Classic.
Pure imagination.
He's imagining a Jets win, which is coming on Sunday.
I believe so. P. Sclafani. Or Shafani?
Oh, that's Peter. Peter S.
Peter S. Green Roman.
Okay.
This guy on the last week's stream, LaVilla, goes, I have my AirPods on full blast and I can barely hear you guys. And I said, did you turn the volume on your phone all the way up? He didn't respond, so I'm going to assume that was a yes. I think so. at least.
If no one else had that problem, but it might be user error.
Oh God. All right. How many people we got all in on this?
38.
38. All right. So you got our got everything numbered in there?
I got everything numbered. Don't ask me to shuffle them.
All right. Here we go. Number 13. Who's 13?
Number 13 is none other than Tony 𝐒𝐿EXIO and the Strevler package.
Oh, Strevler package, baby. Let's see what happens. Spin wheel.
He's going to get the jersey tonight. Oh, a hat.
He wins a hat. Reach out. JetsTalk247@gmail.com or talkinjetshow@gmail.com. We'll get your shipping information, send you out either a beanie or a ball cap. You let us know which one you want. We'll send it your way. Boys and girls, it's been a lot of fun hanging out with you tonight. Matt, it's been a pleasure. Any last words?
Yeah, I'm going to plug it one more time because I feel bad at the end there. I was like, I only like watching games by myself. Spoiler alert, in like 4 days, you're going to be watching with a bunch of Jet fans. But no, in all seriousness, I am excited about it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. The venue is beautiful. Come out, support a Jets fan who is opening up a new a bar, restaurant right on the beach gallery. It's going to be a blast. I'll be there hanging out, drinking, live streaming before the game, doing my post-game video from there after the game. So come hang.
Hell yeah. Totally free. Head down there. Boys and girls, it's been a lot of fun hanging out with you tonight. We'll be back here, same time, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock next week. This is Talkin' Jets. Signing off. JETS.
Just go somewhere else. I can't take this nonsense anymore. How are you gonna blame the defense?
I got the pouch. Screw green bean. Damn it.
But once you get to the sausage, I feel like we're doing something.
Go Jets.
And that's the other part of it is the people are insanely jealous of this show. This show gets the best of the best, and it does a different way with positivity.
He scores!
Ow, my head. No, come on.
What would you give up to see a Jets Super Bowl?
All of my friends and family.
Hit those milk thumbs, boys and girls.
Freeze run.
Hold on to your underwear, ladies, and stand by, bitches. It's now time for Talkin' Jets with your hosts, Matt, Ryan, and Green Bean.
Jets!